Here are 3 sneaky migraine triggers that you might be facing this holiday season. If you're new here, I'm Casey and I'm here chatting about all things living with migraine, sharing my own personal experiences, some strategies that might support you and help you in your migraine journey, and all kinds of things like that along the way. If you have a migraine brain yourself and you want some strategies and support and tips to help make things a little bit easier, hit that subscribe button and we are in this together. So here is the thing. If you've ever survived the holiday season with migraine yourself, you may not be surprised that this is a tricky time of year for people with migraine. There are so many potential triggers, but I'm going to be sharing 3 kind of more sneaky and subdued ones that you may not be on the lookout for right away. But it's so good to be aware of what possible triggers might be coming up so that we can kind of preemptively plan for that and maybe avoid them if possible. If you can see those little ears, that is my husky. She's sitting on the couch next to me. I couldn't kick her out, but she's laying down. She's subdued right now. I wonder if I could get her to say hi. Want to come up here? She's just giving me a crazy look. She's like, are you serious? This is my nap time. Okay, we're not gonna bother her. So possible trigger number 1 is the inconsistent sleep routine. Migraine brains hate change. That's gonna come down to any trigger essentially that I ever share with you, but inconsistent sleep can really take off when we are facing the holiday season and having different plans than usual. Our calendar might be a little more packed. We might be going to like festivities in the evening that might keep us up a little bit late and that kind of stuff. So this can really lead to an inconsistent sleep routine, and that inconsistency is a really common migraine trigger. So my tip for you is to try your very hardest to set reasonable boundaries when it comes to like evening plans and especially like your bedtime routine and actual timing of your bedtime. And personally, I'm like very strict with my bedtime. Like this is something I value very highly and I've always been pretty fixated on this. It's one of the first things I personally started to focus on with my like daily routine and prevention of migraine. So this is something that's very important to me, but I do think that there is room for some wiggle room. Like I'll usually stay up about an hour later than my normal bedtime on weekends and like if it's a special event, and sometimes even a little bit later if I know that I can kind of like get away with it if otherwise my migraine is pretty well controlled. But there is room for some wiggle room. Just try to keep it contained a little bit. So potential trigger number 2 is altered meal time, a different time frame than your usual like meal schedule, snack schedule, this kind of stuff, which is super obvious because like with things like Thanksgiving and Christmas, usually it includes like a big family get together where there is a big holiday meal, and that might not be at a normal meal time for you depending on what your family does or your loved ones and the people you gather with do. So that might be a just specific different altered meal time. But in general, with this time of year, with there being so much focus on food and cookies and snacking and desserts, this can really throw off our normal routine, and these things can be migraine triggers. There's definitely risk when it comes to like having a delayed eating time or having unpredictable snacks. We might accidentally miss a meal or delay a meal or have really unbalanced things that we're eating, and this can be setting us up for failure. And my tip for you is, first of all, please don't do this. Please don't try to like save up your calories for the big meal. That is just like not a smart thing to do in general. But also do try to make sure that you are keeping some sort of stability. I always have snacks with me because this is another thing that I'm very focused on and want to prevent my migraine symptoms from acting up with. I always have snacks with me, so making sure you have something easily accessible with you so that you don't go too long between meals, even if this means that you might have to have a smaller meal later in the day because you had a bigger snack than normal or something like that. Like it all will even out. Just try to keep that schedule somewhat more consistent. And the third one is just that there is so much more social activities and like get-togethers and interactions that we are going to have in the holiday season, which is like duh, obviously, but I want to tell you why this is a trigger. When we have more commitments, we have more socialization, we have more like possible overstimulation from the different events that we're going to. These things all increase like our stress levels and stuff like that. And that change can also really impact our migraine brains. Again, the brains don't like change. Our migraine brains do not. This is a little bit unavoidable, but my suggestion for you to face this particular trigger where like the overscheduling, really stressful schedule and having to interact with people at a much more higher frequency and severity is trying your best to make sure you are still scheduling like actual downtime into your holiday season, like making sure there's days or even parts of days that you don't have to do anything as far as like a social commitment, so that you do have that time to kind of reset, recharge, and keep things a little bit more contained. Now, if you really struggle with the holiday season like I do, I've actually created a guide to help support you with this specifically. And this is on a discount for the rest of 2024. The price will go back up to its full original price at the beginning of 2025. So it's definitely a great time to get your hands on it. It is called the Migraine Holiday Survival Guide, and it leads you through every step of a holiday routine as far as like planning ahead, setting those migraine preventing foundations, packing what you're going to need for your migraine survival kit, and how to interact with the people that you're going to be seeing at the event, and how to like rest and recharge and reflect on everything after the holiday event. So this takes you through the whole shebang. It's here to help you, and it continues to help you as you go through different holidays and vacations and travel plans and stuff like that. But this is a really great time to jump on it. So definitely make sure that you do check the description, where I'll have a link to that. I'll try to remember to also put it in a pinned comment as well, but we'll see what happens there. But yes, that is all for me today. Do make sure to check out the description, even if you aren't looking for that specific guide. There will be other goodies linked down there below that could continue to help support you in your journey with migraine, especially here at the holiday season. And if there's anything that you would add to this list, I'm sure there's so many things, but if there's any other holiday specific triggers that you can think of that I should have included on this list, definitely leave that in a comment below, and maybe we can have a second, go at this video and share some of those. And if you're all about keeping it real on this migraine journey, make sure that you hit like and subscribe so you can keep getting videos like this and all kinds of other topics regarding migraine. See you next time.